Juliet, Charlie, I hope I got that right. Fingers crossed. Oh dear, I always trip up somewhere. But anyway, thanks for giving us a call. You're a pretty strong signal coming in with me. I can give you a new report next time round, although one of my meters is not working, and because of the alterations I've done to the antenna, I feel that I might have done something that upset everything. But I'm going 0JCF from G4UW. Name is John. The QTH is Dunstable in South Bedfordshire. A lovely sunny morning, but still pretty cold out there. But it's nice to see the sun and certainly see it come through the window, which is helping to warm the room up for me. So the name is John, M0, I can't read my writing. JCF, G4UW. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Golf 4, Uniform Oscar Oscar. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot. Very good morning to you, John, up there in Dunstable. My name is Mark, that's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm in Sidcup in Kent. So I'm not a million miles away, just down the M1 and then cross the River Thames and point your nose and you'll find me there. And I've just been listening to your last two QSOs, John, and I'm using an end-fed antenna. It's actually a random long wire. It's 90 feet long. It's an inverted L. And I would say that the horizontal section, no, it's not an inverted L, it's an inverted U. The horizontal section's probably 60 odd feet long. There was method in my madness. I've got it going into a 9-to-1 unun, and then I'm just using auto tuners or manual tuners or whatever to make it work. Like the last bloke was saying to you, I find my random wire absolute rubbish on 10, 12 meters. It's okay on 15 meters. But I alternate between, I've got a 5/8 wave vertical for 10 and 12, and sometimes I use that on 15, sometimes I use the long wire. But I've only got a single ground rod as a counterpoise, and you know what, from 15 meters and 20 meters especially downwards, right down to top band, it works marvelously. I mean, you're 5 and 9 plus 10 to me, 5 and 9 plus 10, sometimes peaking 20, sometimes you're just peaking 9, but other than that, you know, your signal's getting to me, Envis of course, it's a very short skip, but it's getting to me down here in Sidcup, just south of the River Thames, absolutely no problem. Anyway, I'll hand it back to you, John, because that was a bit of a long introduction. A G4 UOO, this is M0 JCF.
Okay, Mark, well, that's very interesting. That's another useful bit of information. I must admit, I think I've tried almost every other antenna going, and I seem to come back to the G5, and it probably suits my garden better than else. But I had no luck with end-fence, long wire, random length wire. No luck at all. So I'm determined to crack it one way or the other. And I was speaking to Bob about it. He was using one and working marvellously. And of course I know the area Sidcup. I know, I can't think of his name now. G6INU, you may well have spoke to him in your area. I can't think of his name. Now for the blooming life for me. No, it's gone. I know the number well. I rang him on this morning. I was going to give him a call, and I was a bit apprehensive of doing that because I wasn't sure how this blooming antenna was working. But now you've given me some confidence that it's getting into Sidcup, and I can't think of it, blooming mate. That's going to annoy me now. Anyway, you are coming up to the 10 over with me on that over mark. So a sonic transmission from your, or should I call it a random length? Yeah, that's something I'm definitely going to go forward with, because when you look at it or analyse it, I mean, it's pretty basic, isn't it? You can't get much more basic than a piece of wire, can you? With some degree of, say, accuracy on getting it to work at the right frequencies you want. I think that's always a problem, and I think most antennas will probably work at a specific frequency. But if you like to maybe hop around or you know, go on to another band fairly close, or a harmonic band of 40, then I think you can start getting things reasonably. Doug, that's his name. Doug, G6INU. Just popped in my head. You've got to take notice. But I'm not one for giving up, and certainly one for trying different things. If anything, to get it working, whether it's be Western Europe or just local traffic on the UK side. Good to have a chat. But I'd like to think that the signal's getting in there without too much difficulty. I hate struggling to listen to anybody getting. Probably not their fault. It's just conditions and the location I'm in. So I put it down to that. But very interesting what you've said. I've been wondering if working so well. It's made me more determined than ever to get it going. Look, I said this last week to several people that I've been using a wire, and not getting one at all. But I shall rectify that, Mark, and hopefully the next time I pick you up or I call you, I'll be able to tell you all the info. That's if the weather stays fine. But also this solar flare business is going to kick off soon, I understand. So that might prove a problem for a lot of people. We'll have to wait and see, but not much we can do about it, is there? Okay. 73 to you, Mark. Apologies for getting most of it wrong as usual, and I'm sure you'll forgive me, as I have said I was sorry. And interesting on all the information you've given me as regards to the antenna. It's made me look out for a couple of points that I wouldn't have bothered with before, but that's the fun of it. And if I get to the point where I can use it as a good reference antenna, which is what I wanted, then I'll be very pleased. Okay, so please, Mark, and do have a healthy New Year and a wealthy one. That would be nice as well, wouldn't it? But hope you and the family stay clear and everything, and certainly look forward to another chat with you in the Sid Cup. Next time I speak to Doug, I've got your call sign number. I'll get back to him. I'm sure you would have spoken to him or know him well. I don't know. But we'll listen to your final, Mark, from M0 JCF from G4UOO.
Yeah, Golf 4, Uniform Oscar Oscar, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot. Yeah, you're right, it's Doug. I mean, I cannot talk to anyone on 40 metres, John. I cannot talk to anyone on 40 metres without them saying, Sid Cup, oh yeah, do you know Doug? Do you know what? I've never met Doug. I've spoken to him loads and loads and loads of times. I suppose as the crow flies, he's half a mile away, you know, quarter of a mile away, driving round the roads. Yeah, it'd be a bit of a chore, but just as the crow flies, yeah, he's on my doorstep, and I quite often hear him talking to Europeans. And when I'm on 40 talking to Europeans, every single solitary one of them says, do you know Doug, G6INU? So there you go. You're quite correct about that. The reason I've got the random wire, John, is going back to 1974 when I started building crystal sets and TRF receivers and regen receivers. I always had a random long wire hanging out the window to a tree of some sort. And I've been in this house just over 20 years now, and one of the first things I put up back then was a random long wire, just for the odd tinkering, etc. Nothing serious. And when I got my licence, now I did fail my RAE in 1978, but I finally passed it in 2017 when I got my M6. Anyway, you know, I had the wire there. I had my brand new shiny licence. I'd been shortwave listening for all my life. And I just thought to myself, well, how can we make this work? Well, what I did first was I made it an end-fed half wave for 40 metres. So I chopped it back to 66 feet. And at the time, it was about 80 feet long, I suppose. So I chopped it back to 66 feet and I put the 9-to-1 on it. And I wasn't overly impressed. And so I just extended the wire again, and it's broken a few times, so I've extended it, and now it's one piece. And just for the length, it was how much wire can I get up? So it goes from the unun, which is at sort of 6 feet up, it goes upwards to a pole on the side of the house, then it goes down the garden to a tree at the end of the garden, then it drops down vertical. So that's what gives me the inverted U, and it gives me the length of around 90 feet. So there's no science or anything. As I say, the ground rod, I haven't maintained that in a while, so it probably does need the ground rod to make it more effective, cleaning up on the connection. And I have actually got a new ground rod as well, so I was going to try 2 of them. I was also going to try extending a ground rod, a wire down the length of the garden underneath the random wire and to another ground rod at the distant end. I have heard that can sometimes give you better results. It's something I haven't got round to, John. I'm very, very lazy when it comes to HF antennas. But do you know what? I've worked all around the world on 17 and 20 metres and partly 15 metres. I've worked some DX on 40 metres. I've worked as far east as obviously Russia and Kuwait. And going southwest, I've worked Brazil on 40 metres using that antenna. As I say, the 20 metres, it's okay for DX. It'll work the USA. It will work Brazil, you know, well, all of South America. So, you know, it's okay for that. But when you start to get the 15 metres and up, now, absolute rubbish. So I've got the 5/8 wave vertical for 10 metres that I use on 12 and 15. Once again, I have to use a tuner because, as I say, I'm very lazy. I don't often build resonant antennas or anything like that, apart from 2 metres 77s. You know, I've got a vertical for that, and I've got a 9-element LFA for 2 metres, which will probably come down now. It doesn't get a lot of use. I might just put a 2 or 3 element 6 metre beam in its place. So that's the story. It's also sunny down here. We've got beautiful blue skies, and you may hear in the background I've got the washing machine going. I'm in my garage shack, so the washing machine's at the other end, and it's whirring away, making all sorts of noise. But other than that, I'm just using a Yaesu FT-757GX, an old radio. I've only had this one 2 weeks. I bought it 2 weeks ago. I've had quite a few of them now. I tend to buy old radios, get them working, use them for a while, sell them on, buy another one, normally an identical one. So that's the full story here. Going to get myself back out in the garden in a minute. I only came in here to work on a VFO from an old TS520S. So plenty going on, plenty to do, and plenty to see. You have a great week, John. I look forward to speaking to you again. Say hello to Doug for me if I don't see him first. And the world will be your oyster, I'm sure. All the very best, 73. I'll let you go and see if you can get a few more contacts. But your antenna's working fine today. A G4 Uniform Oscar. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot going clear with you. Have a good day, mate.
Okay, well, first class, yeah, dipped down at one time, but I didn't lose it completely, so I was able to cut most of things, and so it sounds like you've got every antenna for every event, and good luck to you. That's certainly the way to do it. But certainly antennas are a fascinating subject, almost as fascinating as audio. But with audio, different people hear you in different ways, so that's a bit more tricky, I think. But antennas, you either get out well or you don't. But certainly made notes on your comments with regards to different lengths of knives and different bands. I must admit I don't do that much band hopping. On occasion I go to 20 and I use 30 for some CW, and that's about it. But nevertheless, very interesting that you found on occasion that what you put up was rubbish. That's about the same as mine. That was rubbish when I put it up. But you know, every garden has a different aspect to it, and certainly I've learned through the few years that I've been doing it that antennas of different kinds won't work in every garden. They will not do. I've heard people say G5 just, you know, it's terrible, but you know, if you can get it to work in your garden, it's a pretty good aerial. No, it's certainly a good listening aerial, but it all depends on if I could say what rubbish you got in your garden. Certainly I think that applies to me. All chalk here, Mark, as regards to the ground, so I don't get very much help from reflection-wise, the ground, so I'm quite lucky that I'm able to get out as well as I can, with just a bit of moaning that sometimes helps me, but invariably, you know, it's an average setup and I can enjoy it. Certainly speaking to different people with different ideas and views. I'm always interested in that and always laughing to myself. When they tell me what they've got, I think, well, I'm digging up. I'll have to try that, it just might work. Okay, Mark, yeah, give Doug my regards, and I might even catch him later on. I'm not sure how long he stays for, but I did notice he was on earlier on, and I wasn't that brave enough to give him a call in case the antenna wasn't working right, but I think it's pretty much working as good as it was before I changed it. You know, so I might leave it and sort of evaluate it a bit more from different parts of the UK. So please, Mark, as I say, have a good, healthy new year, and hopefully well for you in regards to you and the family. Thanks for taking the trouble to give us a shout. Interesting conversation, and put a smile on my face a couple of times, that's for sure. Take care, Mark. M0JCF. From G4UOO. Take care, Mark. Bye-bye.
Yeah, cheers, John. All the very best. M0JCF is now clear.